Right, well, of course, we've been off the air for a couple of weeks, but thankfully we have our regular listener on the line. I believe it's John from Basingstoke. Are you there, John?
Hello, Mark. Yes, John here. John Ashe. John Ashe with an E from Basingstoke. I'm here again. Nice to speak to you after this break.
Yeah, lovely to speak to you, John. So, how are you doing in Basingstoke? Have you missed me?
Oh, always miss you, Mark. Yep, whenever you're not there, always miss you. I'm doing fine in Basingstoke, actually. I'm in Basingstoke today, not on a holiday or anything like that. No, I have been outside today, looking at, we've got some gates, you see, so I've been fiddling around with the gates because they're a bit broken.
All right.
Yeah, but I'm getting there.
Okay. You're getting there and the gates are getting there.
Yeah, I suppose that's true. Yeah, we're both getting there.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, what have you called in to chat about today, John?
Well, something that's been on my mind for quite a long time I'd like to have chatted with you, but not really thought about it until recently, and that is UFOs. I'd like to talk about UFOs with you today, Mark.
Oh, okay, right. Well, have you seen a UFO then, John? Is that why you're calling?
Well, that's actually not quite why I'm calling. Let me explain it like this. You see, every year, really. Well, is it every 6 months now? You know, I've got to this age now. It tends to be every 6 months. So it doesn't always, because, of course, COVID has messed things up. But I get called every 6 months to go to the dentist. I've got a very nice dentist. Her name is Laura, and she's been looking after my teeth for quite a long time. So I go there every 6 months and have a, what do they call it? Do they call it, a checkup?
Checkup,
is that what they call it?
Yeah.
Yeah, have a checkup, see that none of the fillings have fallen out and that sort of thing. Anyway, yes, I've got quite a good relationship with her. She's just very talkative, and she's got a nice assistant there, and they talk. And of course, you can't talk back, can you? When the drill is in your mouth and all that sort of thing. But quite nice atmosphere. You have to wait quite a long time sometimes in the waiting room, and you know what it's like in those waiting rooms. The magazines are not very interesting, are they? Hello Magazine and that sort of thing. And I don't know. I'm getting to the age now where I don't know who any of these people are in the magazine. No. Incredible, supposedly celebrities and all that. Anyway, so there I am, looking at these papers, and what always gets me about that place is a very faint smell of tobacco, and I think that's very odd because I'm quite sure, being a health establishment like that, they wouldn't allow smoking or anything like that. But perhaps it's a caretaker or something at the end of the day. Anyway, so that's what I do, and then I go in. It's all very nice and. Very pleasant atmosphere. Or the only little bugbear that I have about the dentists is that, frankly, COVID's all over, isn't it, Mark? In any serious way. Well, in any serious way. And yet, it's all masks everywhere. I get a bit fed up with it, You go in there and then, they have a good old look around your mouth and take the mask off. Anyway, I don't want to get into a big thing about that.
John, you said you wanted to talk about UFOs, is that right?
Yes, I want to talk about UFOs, and that's because it has to do with my dentist, who I get on with very well, actually. When she drills, sometimes she has to remove a little bit of
scraping the plaque. I find the worst bit. Scraping of the plaque. It's not good, is it?
Yeah, but that's the hygienist, isn't it? And I must admit, the hygienist is a little bit more, as we say in this area of the world, rabrouche, a little bit heavy-handed.
Oh, okay.
Right. No, but my dentist is very good, Laura. Yeah, so she'll use the drill, but it never really hurts. I mean, even without a local anaesthetic, it's amazing. She has a very good technique with that.
Okay.
So yeah, she's got to do with the story I want to tell today.
Okay, and this is your UFO. This is your UFO story, isn't it? Sorry.
That's right. Yeah. It's all been modernised in recent years, because when I first went there, it was sort of dilapidated, really. Not what you expect for a dentist, is it?
Right, okay.
But I think they've had quite an injection, no pun intended, an injection of money into the establishment. Maybe it's gone a bit sort of more privatised sort of thing, and anyway, although I'm still on the NHS with regard to their services.
Okay.
But yeah, it's all rather nice, sparkling, new, and
getting back onto to UFOs, John.
Yes, well, I'm leading up to that.
Oh, right, okay.
It has to do with my dentist.
Right. Laura.
Who, you see, to be quite honest, I think she's very knowledgeable. I mean, she's not long out of college. Unlike my doctor, of course, he's not long out of college. Doesn't know a thing.
Oh, was he the one who said that...
Can't string two things together, to be honest.
Is he the one who sort of thought that being on a pogo stick did your back in and you didn't believe him? Is that right? I seem to recall something like that.
Yes, that's the one who was wrong about that. That's right.
Right.
Yes. doesn't know anything, straight out of college. But she's not exactly straight out of college, but she's fairly new out of college, but obviously has studied very hard.
Right. Okay.
Did very well in her exams, I should think. And a very good dentist, actually. Yes. Anybody who'd like to go on her books, I recommend, if you're in the Basingstoke area, to go to that particular establishment.
What's the name of the dental practice? I'm not sure we're allowed to advertise, really, but her name is Laura.
Laura, yeah, that's right, Laura. Yeah. Have a look around. There can't be that many Lauras practicing as dentists.
No, not in the Basingstoke area, I would have thought.
No, that's right. Yes. So
anyway,
she's central to what I want to say today.
So taking you back a bit, John, because you did phone up, I think, talk about UFOs.
Oh, that's right. Yes, it's to do with Laura. And you see, when I go there and I'm lying in the chair and having the drill or whatever it is, or the scraping done, although the hygienist tends to do that one, she starts to, well, just before she puts the drill in, she'll often say something about, oh yes, well, I've seen some UFOs recently. So I'll start to react to, right. But of course, as soon as I start to react, in goes the drill, or whatever it is, or fiddling around with a glove in the mouth, to check. And I'm trying to react with a sense of interest, and it all comes out as, like, you see.
Oh dear.
Yes. So we don't really get anywhere. So I can't actually respond, although I have heard some of the things that she says.
Can you hear it above the noise of the drill, then?
It's a bit difficult at times.
So what's the...
She's obviously very inspired by the idea of UFOs and claims to have seen many UFOs in the sky.
Oh, right.
Which is very interesting, isn't it?
So what does she say? What? So is she a fellow Basingstokian, then? Is it something that's happened to her in Basingstoke? Is that the word? Basingstokian?
Well, I suppose she is an honorary one now, but she's actually Scottish.
Oh, right.
And most of the UFOs that she's seen, which of course she described as discs,
right,
she's seen up in the Highlands.
Okay. So she's seen flying saucers up in the Cairngorms.
No, she says they're UFOs. She's seen UFOs. Because, do you remember that there was a TV series, well, it was on when I was quite young, actually. I think it was called UFO, was it? Or Project UFO or something like that. Do you remember the one? Do you remember that one?
Gosh, there was an old thing called UFO. Jerry Anderson, he did the Thunderbirds, didn't he? The Thunderbirds.
I think that's the one. Is that the one with the young ladies with the coloured hair?
Yes. That's right, they're on the moon base. They're on the...
Was his name Straker?
Ed Straker, yes, he was in charge of defending the Earth against UFOs. That's right. Right.
That's right, and he had a funny car, didn't he, where the doors come up at the side.
Yeah, sort of DeLorean thing, wasn't it? Gull-wing doors, yes.
Right, is that what it is? Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Well, yeah, no, not at all like that.
Right.
What it's more like is sort of long sausages. Some people talk about UFOs. A lot of people talk about them being like lampshades and things like that, but that's not what she says. She says discs, but discs more in the sense of an elongated disc, a bit more like a sausage roll. Does that make sense?
So a sausage roll or a sausage?
Sausage roll.
Right. So that's a UFO. Of course, a UFO is not necessarily a flying saucer. A UFO is I suppose, strictly speaking, an unidentified flying object. So it could be anything, really. It could be
No. She identifies it as a UFO. That's what she says. So it's sort of disc-like, like oval. Well, sort of like oval. Like a rugby ball, I suppose.
Okay. So is that oval on?
Flattened. But sort of flattened.
Like a dinner plate.
If you looked at it quickly, no, not like a dinner plate, like a rugby ball. And as you look at it quickly, sort of elongated, crushed a bit, you think, oh, that's the shape of a sausage roll. But then if you look at it a little bit more closely, you think, oh, that's the shape of, it's a bit like a disc, isn't it? Because it's sort of rounded at the edges. But then you think, no, it's a bit sort of, it's got some angles to that end. So it's a bit like it's a bit like a sausage roll. It's a bit like a rugby ball sausage roll.
So does she tell you all this while she's drilling your teeth?
She does. That's what makes it very difficult when she's describing a sausage roll, rugby ball disc.
Yes.
I'm going there like that. What I'm trying to say is, can you make it clearer what it is you've actually seen in the sky with these UFOs? Fascinating though, Mark, because I'm quite convinced that there are all kinds of things behind the clouds watching us all the time, don't you think?
Well, I don't know about behind the clouds, but I think I don't know. The jury's out. as they say, on that. Don't you think, though, that if one of these UFO, sorcery, sausage roll, rugby ball things had appeared, that, I don't know, that it would make itself more well known and land in the middle of Hyde Park or something?
No, because we'd all be scared. I think the authorities know. Have you ever seen Close Encounters of the Third Kind?
I have, a long time ago.
Good film, isn't it? Very good.
Yes, it is a good film.
You'd think that was just like entertainment, but actually that's based on truth.
Right.
Definitely.
Okay.
No, I know. I read that somewhere.
Okay.
Definitely. That happened. And that doesn't just happen then, whenever that was. It happens quite regularly. There are these meetings where UFOs come down, also not just sausage shapes and things, but all kinds of shapes come down, and they meet with human beings and the authorities, and it's in places where people don't know.
Huh. What, like Scotland?
Like Scotland, yeah. Because if we knew all about it, everybody would be scared. So the authorities keep it from us. I think it's fascinating. Quite, yeah.
And this all comes from your dentist?
Well, not all of it. I had some interest in this sort of thing.
Okay. So what happens when...
but she knows more about it than anybody I've met before.
Wow. And what happens when... So when she's done your teeth and she says spit, and you have some of that strange sort of pink liquid that I can't work out what it tastes of, and you spit it out, what happens next? Does she... Can you sort of quiz her on what she said, or is that sort of it?
I'm glad you said that, Mark, because that's another problem.
Because
when I finish going, like that, and then she... takes all stuff out like that. You have the assistant there with that funny sort of vacuum thing.
Oh, yeah.
Getting rid of the saliva. It's not very nice, is it? But I suppose it's necessary, otherwise you'd be coughing and spluttering all over the place.
Well, you'd drown.
So that comes out, and that comes out, right? And then I'm thinking, now is my opportunity to actually say, can you tell us a little bit more about the shape of this thing and what you think's inside? Have you actually seen any little green men looking in the windows and all that? By the time I sort of half-formed the sentence, she just butts in and says, "Swirl and spit." Right?
Yeah.
So then I do exactly what I do. And then blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah.
But that's interrupted my flow.
Wow.
And often I'm thinking, oh, just a minute, now what was I saying? And by the time I've gathered my thoughts, then, the two of them, they're telling me about what the state of my teeth is. You can't.
That's it.
If they're saying, well, that tooth might have to have something done on it next time. Yeah. Oh, by the way, what was the shape of this? You can't do that, can you? That's rude. So
I suppose she's
gone on for years. It's gone on for years.
Years. Oh, she's fresh out of college, but it's gone on for years.
Yep, that's right.
No, that's fascinating, John. Okay, well, perhaps. I don't know when you're due to see her next. Perhaps you could, tell us next time you visit the dentist if she's got anything more interesting to say about sausage rolls, and if she's seen anybody inside the sausage rolls. That would be interesting to know.
I'm going tomorrow, so I'll be able to do that.
Oh, right. Okay. Now, John, before you go, do you have a request for us to play here on Valley Park Radio?
I do. I would like to have the theme music from Project UFO, or whatever it's called.
Well, there was Project UFO, wasn't there? That was like 1980. That was from Project Blue Book or something. That was real life cases.
Not that one then.
No,
the Jerry Anderson.
I think the one you mean is with Ed Straker and the women with funny hair. That's UFO. Okay.
I like those women.
I bet you do, John.
Yeah, I do. I like the hair they had.
Okay.
Good.
Well,
really good. I want that music, you see. Okay. That came from sort of time when I was dancing to things.
Were you dancing?
Actually, I was very young then, wasn't I? I was very young because I was born in '62.
Right.
So I was very young.
So
you can imagine me dancing in front of the TV, can't you?
What, to the theme from UFO?
Absolutely.
Right. Well,
great stuff.
We'll get that on the virtual turntable. Do you have anybody you'd like to give a shout out for?
Maud.
Okay, we'll do that. We'll do that for Maud. Right. Well, lovely to hear from you, John. Hope you're safely back on terra firma now. After telling us all about that, what are you planning for the rest of the day?
Gates.
Fantastic. All right,
we'll try and finish those gates today. Yeah.
Right. Well, we'll speak to you next week. Hopefully, you'll be listening to the show as you always do. Regular listener to the show, John Ashe.
I will be. Yeah. Right. Great show. Thanks for having me on again, Mark.
No problem. Lovely to hear from you, John. Cheerio.
Bye.
Darren's